Now, I believe the Derby Festival is the signature event for Louisville, and it really frames and couches the entire Derby race itself. So while the Derby's going to be the Derby and nobody's going to take away from that, it certainly makes it a really huge spectacle when you add the Derby Festival and all that it is up until the race. So Chris really considered it an honor to serve as chair of the Derby Festival. He also had a ton of fun on the road to fun and savored every part of the experience. He took his job very seriously, as he knew always he was representing the Derby Festival.
You know, I'm kind of like the Cliff Clavin of the Derby Festival. I have a head full of useless knowledge. And one of the things historically that strikes me about Chris's tenure as Derby Festival chair has to do with how he got here. He was actually the very first vice chair of the Derby Festival. And he wasn't conceived in the usual manner. If you know Chris, you know that that's not inconceivable. He became vice chair and knew that he would be the 2009 chair sometime during late summer and early fall. So he really will hold a place in the history books. And speaking of history, he's also the first board chair I've ever had who was younger than me.
I tell you what, Chris is the life of the party, and the festival was a bigger party than normal because of him. You know, it's hard to say. Anybody who knows Chris knows that he's all about fun, and he's all about the people, and he's all about the volunteers, and he's all about the spectators. And frankly, I can't think of a better representative for the festival than Chris Dickinson.
Some of the neat highlights and things that you got to do as be chairman is, you know, meeting Robin Roberts. That was really amazing, and what a nice lady. And she did such a great job at their off luncheon, and getting to experience more of the events that, you know, maybe we hadn't been to before. You know, Chris had probably been to a lot of them, but we felt really fortunate to ride on his coattails through that process, and you know, that we could support him in any way and help the Derby Festival as well.
You know, you probably heard a lot of people say that Chris was the party man. He was the king of the road. Well, let me tell you that there's also a very serious side to Chris. Those people who were close to him and close to Thunder Over Louisville and their off luncheon knew that we hosted some very important people that weekend. The Montague family came in as part of the Jack and Jill Foundation's outreach to families who one of the parents is suffering from very severe terminal cancer. And Chris's insistence that we get involved with that organization, and his willingness to find friends to host, and his willingness to have people in his suite and to be a part of that, took what was really an unknown for us and turned it into one of the best stories of this festival. And you know, it says a lot about a guy who likes to have a good time but has a heart as big as all out of doors.
Well, I fell in love with the city of Louisville in so many different ways. And along the way, I fell in love with Melissa Earl Dickinson, my wife of soon to be 18 years. Missy is a Louisville native, a 1981 graduate of Eastern High School, and homecoming queen. Yes, I overachieved.
I had forgotten about the chairman's speech at the Their Off Luncheon, and Chris didn't mention to us that, you know, he'd be making a speech. And both my daughters were there with me, as well as some of my family members. And when Chris stood up, I didn't really realize it was going to be a speech about, you know, not only himself, but, you know, he said some just wonderful comments to us, and you know, and thanked a lot of different people. And it was just a really kind of special family moment for us to be there and experience that. And he did a great job with the speech too.
May your ride be full of enjoyment, surprises, laughter, and cheer. Hear, hear.
Chris Dickinson is the party chairman. I don't think any other chairman could have led a party like Chris Dickinson has.
Trailer for sale or rent, rooms to let 50 cents.
Get up, hit a sprinkler head, bounce, run.
No pets, ain't got no cigarettes, but 2 hours of pushing broom buys a 8.
It is not gonna rain on my parade.
Man of means by no means king of the road.
Well, in wrapping this thing up, we know that Chris loves to party. We know that Chris has a heart as big as all out of doors. And now we also know that Chris is incredibly lucky because he dodged some weather bullets so that we had a festival that was just fantastic from a weather standpoint. So Chris, thanks for all you've done for being chairman of the 2009 Derby Festival. You know, I can't think of anybody else I'd want to take a road trip with.
King of the road.
Hi, Chris. We really enjoyed the Road to Fun with you. We had just a blast along the way. We're so very proud of you and the sacrifices that you made along the way. You are a great ambassador for the Derby Festival, and we love you.
For sale or rent, rooms to let 50 cents. I'm a man of means by no means, king of the road. Trailers for sale or rent, rooms to let 50 cents. No phone.